Welcome back to my G1 Retro Reviews. Today, we're taking a look at the original Transformers series episode, The Gambler. Yes, as many of you have pointed out in my last episode review, The Gambler actually takes place after the events of Child's Play, which I somehow never put together. Although it has been a while since I've watched some of these episodes. It's weird that the TF Wiki has these episodes out of order. Even if you went by their original air dates, The Gambler would actually come after Child's Play. So I really don't know what order they're going by then. So in this episode, the Autobots are on their way back to Earth when they are abducted and traded as collateral for Energon. And Smokescreen must win back his friends if they are ever to return home. I like how Inferno references the fact that this is a toy rocket.
I thought you said you could keep this toy rocket running.
The Autobots are captured by the alien slaver Bosch. He neutralizes the Autobots, but Smokescreen's tube malfunctions. Fortunately, Bosch and Smokescreen are both gambling addicts, and they strike a deal. Smokescreen cheats at gambling for him, and Bosch will release his friends.
I'll restore them to their normal heights later.
What is it with these two episodes and the Autobots being tiny? The two of them travel to Monaco, which is probably named after the real-world location, Monaco, which is also well known for gambling. By the way, why does Bosch's ship remind me of RC? It must be the pink and white color scheme, and the design on the front, which is very similar to the one on the front of RC's car mode, but reversed. The two go to see Lord Gikeny, who is in Sheol. Sheol is apparently a Hebrew word that means grave, and is sometimes used as a euphemism for hell, which seems fitting for this place. As they enter, they pass by a big Jawa.
I have a bad feeling about this.
I have a feeling that this episode is going to feel very much like a Star Wars story, but with Transformers. Once inside, they see a gladiatorial pit. Again, very much like a certain other one in Star Wars. When we finally see Lord Gikeny, we get the hint that he too is probably inspired by another crime lord, Jabba the Hutt from Star Wars, complete with his own little Salacious Crumb knockoff. Is it bad if I say I'm disappointed that he isn't surrounded by barely dressed slave girls? I mean, obviously I would hope that they'd all be freed by the end of the episode, but maybe I'm just being a little bit horny. Oh, but it is funny that Bosch's ship reminded me of RC, as she is actually based on Princess Leia. So it would actually kind of be fitting if perhaps she was captured and enslaved by Lord Gikeny already, since Princess Leia was also captured and enslaved by Jabba the Hutt. And then she is freed and goes back to Earth with the rest of the Autobots. Aw, too bad. I think I like my version of the episode better. So they get their Energon chips and immediately hit the casino. But Smokescreen's greed gets the better of him, and he loses all their chips, thanks to that big Jawa from earlier.
I have a really bad feeling about this.
Meanwhile, Astrotrain, Dirge, and Ramjet coincidentally land on Monaco as well, where they are being tailed by DevCon. We get some interesting lore from DevCon, which actually lines up with what we learned back in the two-parter, Desertion of the Dinobots.
My name is DevCon. I left my home planet of Cybertron millions of years ago during the Great War when...
Unfortunately, he is interrupted by Slazardo, which sounds like the name of one of those lizard enemies in Zelda. It's such a shame that DevCon didn't get to finish his story. I would have loved to learn more about him. It turns out that DevCon is a bounty hunter, sort of like Lockdown, but DevCon is a good guy. Again, this is something that I'd like to see more of in Transformers. It also turns out that Lord Gikeny works for Megatron. I wonder how many other aliens work for Megatron. Lord Gikeny injects the Autobots with something that is only described as unstable energon, which turns their eyes red. Is this some other form of energon? Like red energon or synth N? Smokescreen is attacked by Dirge and Ramjet, but he is saved by DevCon. And the two Decepticons run away with their tail fins between their legs. Well, technically they're on their legs, but you know what I mean.
Great! I can use some of this energon for fuel.
Give us the Autobots, Ramjet.
How about some laser beams instead?
Is it just me, or do Smokescreen and Ramjet sound pretty similar? It probably has something to do with the fact that they're both played by Jack Angel, as is Astrotrain. The Decepticons escape.
I can't let them escape. The Decepticons must be stopped at all costs.
Why does that line sound familiar?
Megatron must be stopped, no matter the cost.
So Slizardo leaves with DevCon to go after the Decepticons. The Autobots are restored back to normal, and they have a little vacation in Monaco.
Let's go, partner. But this time, leave the gambling to me.
You couldn't even win on your own slot machine, which you rigged to let you win. Better let Smokescreen do the gambling. Just look out for nosy Jawas this time. Well, this was a decent episode. Definitely a lot better than Child's Play. Although I do feel like this episode could have been a lot better. It felt like they were trying to do a couple of stories at once. I think the Star Wars heist plot and the Bounty Hunter DevCon plot could have been separate episodes. This episode also could have really benefited from some better animation and world building. I mean, you've basically got this alien Las Vegas type of setting. I would have liked to see more of the glamour side of Monaco, rather than just this dingy, depressing dungeon. Again, I would have loved to learn more about DevCon, or to have seen him reappear in the series, much like Lockdown in Transformers Animated. Sadly, this is pretty much it for DevCon. The most he ever got after this was an appearance in BotCon Fiction, as well as a BotCon exclusive figure of him, which is a repaint of Scourge. Unfortunately, that was one of the BotCons that I missed, so I don't have that toy. But I'm hoping that he eventually gets a new figure sometime soon. Well, be sure to let me know what you thought of this episode of G1 down in the comments. Remember to like, subscribe, and do all that other fun stuff. And I'll see you back here next time for the next episode of the original Transformers series, Quest for Survival. Unless, of course, there's another episode that is supposed to come after this one. But otherwise, I will see you back here next week for that.